Good evening. My name is Alicia McCain, and I serve as the Associate Vice President for Admissions at TLU. Welcome to TLU's faculty panel. I'm excited that you're joining us this evening. This panel is part of our continuing virtual TLU showcase. The showcase is a series of events that highlight different members of the TLU community. Tonight, our panel features a welcome from Dr. Sarah Ferguson, Vice President for Academic Affairs at TLU, and commentary by 4 TLU professors. They are excited to share more with you about the academic experience at TLU and answer your questions live. We know that hearing from your potential future professors is an important part of selecting your college or university, and our hope with this panel is that we can give you more of an understanding of what it's like to be a student at TLU and what you can expect in the TLU classroom. To begin our program, I would like to introduce Dr. Sarah Ferguson. Dr. Ferguson serves as the Vice President for Academic Affairs and is the Chief Academic Officer at TLU. She oversees the vision, leadership, and strategy of the academic affairs on campus. Dr. Ferguson holds a PhD in social work and a joint master's degree in social work and public affairs from the University of Minnesota. She has served in many roles at various institutions and joined the TLU community last July. Dr. Ferguson?
Thanks. Good evening. On behalf of faculty and staff, I would like to welcome you to TLU. TLU is a comprehensive university that offers a residential and small campus setting, which creates a strong sense of community and an ease of engagement with your learning experience. Our faculty provide a student-centered approach that allows you to connect with them both in the classroom as well as outside of the classroom through individual advising, collaborative research, and discussion about careers and aspirations. Faculty doors are typically open. Faculty choose to teach at TLU because they enjoy and value the learning relationship they are able to create with students to help the students meet their educational and life goals. Due to this approach to student learning, we are excited that we will be mostly back to our regular face-to-face engagement this fall. This small campus experience allows students to pursue opportunities in the humanities, the sciences, health professions, education, and business. All of our majors are enhanced by their grounding in the liberal arts, which provide the student with a holistic educational experience. This grounding enhances the student's ability to delve deeper into their chosen major and think critically, a primary skill identified as necessary by today's employers. With that, I'll hand it back over to Alicia, who will be leading the discussion with 4 of our exceptional faculty here at TLU. I have no doubt they will be able to answer your questions and display the student-centered approach that permeates TLU. Thanks so much, and I hope to see you all this fall.
Thank you, Dr. Ferguson. Tonight, I will moderate the discussion among our panelists. I'm going to ask that each of our panelists begin by introducing themselves. The panelists will share their name and the department they serve. And we'll start with Dr. Garza.
Hi, everyone. I'm Fernando Garza, and I am the chair of the Department of Business and Economics.
Hi, I'm Jeanette Jones, and I'm the chair of the Education Department.
Hi, all. I'm Tony Sansi, and I'm the chair of the Physics Department here at TLU.
Hello, I'm Dr. Carl Hughes from the Theology Department.
Thank you for your introductions. We will now begin our discussion with your questions. When you registered for this evening's event, you had the opportunity to submit questions for the panelists on your registration forms. We will start with these questions first. As we're asking and responding to the questions, be thinking about additional questions you may have for the panelists, as we will be requesting questions through the chat feature at the bottom of your Zoom window shortly. To kick off our program, I want to start with the first question, and I'll direct it to Dr. Garza to start. And the first question is, what is your favorite course to teach?
I really enjoy teaching international business. I think it's important to the students to understand that we're all part of an interdependent and interconnected world. And so in that course, I hope to show my students how, or give them a sense that they are part of sort of a larger community. And so I really enjoy teaching that course.
Thank you, Dr. Garza. And Dr. Jones?
Yes, I have two classes that I really enjoy teaching. I teach a children's literature course, which is a lot of fun. And I also really get to connect with freshmen and sophomore students because they can take it prior to entering into the education program. The second class I really enjoy teaching is diversity in education. This is where we explore the connections between education and the diverse student populations that we work with. And it's also a lot of fun.
Thank you. I was really excited to see this next question come through. Really shows that students are thinking and they're want to be on top of their game academically. So the question that came in was, do you offer office hours? So I will send this one over to Dr. Sansi first.
So I almost laughed a little when I saw this question because I live in my office hours. And a funny thing is that if you ask me what they officially are that I wrote down somewhere, I don't really know. My door is always open. We've been here in person since last August. And so now with the Zoom, I have Zoom office hours and I have in my office hours. So yeah, we have office hours pretty much 24/7.
And Dr. Hughes, do you want to go ahead and respond to this one also?
Yeah, similarly, I would just say absolutely. We offer lots of office hours. And just to be clear, office hours are when we have posted hours at different days throughout the weeks, different times. When if you come to our offices, you're guaranteed to find us. But as Dr. Sansi was saying, we're in our offices a lot more than just those hours. And beyond that, if you really need to meet with us, send us an email and we're going to respond quickly. So we love talking to you.
Thank you both. The next question that came in is from a student that definitely was on the same track that I was when I went to school. So what is the earliest a class starts? And in addition to that question, what is the best place to get a quick and fast breakfast on campus? So Dr. Sansi?
So 8 a.m., y'all. 8 a.m. That's when classes start, and we're there a lot. But sometimes on lucky days, I might start an exam at 7:30, so you have extra time to do it. I don't know about the breakfast thing. Maybe some other people know, but I feel like you should grab a coffee on the way to class. You know, the good news is it's college. You can come in your pajamas if you want to. It's okay.
Thanks, Dr. Sansi. Dr. Garza?
Well, I'll just start answering maybe the more important question first, which is where to get a quick breakfast and a good breakfast. And I teach in the building called Shapey Hall. And in Shapey Hall, we have the Shapey Coffee House. So I usually encourage my students, and I do have 8 o'clock classes, to, before class, before they come in, grab a quick bite at the Shapey Coffee House. They've got a lot of good stuff there.
Thanks. So the next question I'm going to send over to Dr. Jones because I know that this is one that fits her. So a student asked, are there summer school courses offered at TLU?
And the answer to that is yes. In the education department, we offer many courses, but I know that other areas or other disciplines also offer summer courses. Students can take classes either online or face-to-face in the summer, and they come in 3 terms. And so students can take one class in the May term, and then in June and July, they're 4-week classes, and students can usually take, I think, 2 classes during the summer term. But yes, we offer lots of classes in the summer.
Thank you, Dr. Jones. And just to elaborate, I know students ask this question quite a bit. So I know that when I was looking at the summer course schedule that will be offered in just a few months, those May, June, and July terms, there are over 80 courses that will be offered. And that's over those 3 different summer terms. And they're in various academic departments. Some are face-to-face, so on campus, some are still virtual. So just know that you have that opportunity. And when you work with your academic advisor to register for your courses for the fall term, you can go ahead and register also for your summer courses. So that's a great conversation to have with your academic advisor through that advising session that you have when they help and guide you through what to register for and what order you should be taking classes in. So I know that they're experts in that, but they can help you with that summer coursework also. So the next question I'm going to send to Dr. Hughes first. The student has asked, are there any opportunities to continue coursework in another country through a study abroad opportunity?
Yes, and this is a class that really, or this is a question that really warms my heart because I think this is so important, and it was a big part of my experience too, studying abroad. So there are lots of ways you can do that at TLU. TLU does have agreements with universities abroad, and you could just enroll there for a semester, often for no more tuition than you would pay at TLU. So you could go to Australia or Spain or Ireland for a semester, and I have known students who have done that and had great experiences. Another opportunity that I'll let Dr. Jones talk about is what's called Harlaxton College, which is a place in England that TLU has a special relationship with, and TLU faculty, along with faculty from other schools, go there each year. The third way is faculty-led off-campus programs during Maymester. So Maymester is a 2-week period in May, right after graduation. And there are courses on campus during that time, but it is a great time to go off campus as well. So there are lots of international trips that go for about 2 weeks. I have led one to Germany to study Martin Luther and the history of the Reformation. I have also led one to Washington State, to a really remote and absolutely beautiful retreat center there, affiliated with the Lutheran tradition. And that was a class where we talked about questions of vocation and spirituality and social justice. Now, I know that's not abroad, but let me tell you, it felt abroad for most of us because it's just a world away. So if you're thinking about studying abroad at all, I would really, really encourage you to do that.
And so as Dr. Hughes mentioned, we also have a partnership with the University of Evansville, and they have a very unique campus. It's about an hour train ride north of London, and it's called Harlaxton College. And students actually live and take classes in an English manor. The manor was built in 1832. And when people ask me to explain what it is like, just picture a real life Hogwarts. That's what it is. It's beautiful. Harlaxton offers classes for a variety of majors, everything from nursing and the sciences to business, to speech, to education. And it is recommended that students go either their sophomore or junior year. It's really hard to work it in your freshman year because you've just started school. And it's hard to work it in your senior year because you have so many things going on prior to graduation. So if you're thinking of study abroad, you really want to consider doing this your sophomore or junior year. And if anybody has questions about Harlaxton, I'm very happy to answer anything that you have.
Thank you both. Hoping they let staff go do those types of adventures also. So the next question I'm going to pitch to Dr. Garza. A student asked, how long does it take to get a master's for business school? So perhaps you can talk about the two programs that are offered concurrently within your department.
Right. As Alicia said, we have 2 master's programs housed within our department, the Masters of Accountancy, and one of our newer programs, the Master of Science in Data Analytics. For incoming freshmen, we have a program that is essentially concurrent. What that means is you start as a traditional undergrad, and within 5 years, then you'll be able to graduate with your master's. There are specialized sort of paths to take, specialized degree plans, but generally speaking, you can come in and 5 years later leave TLU with a master's degree, either in accountancy or in data analytics.
Thank you, Dr. Garza. Dr. Sansi, I think this next question is going to be great for you to start out the response, and then I'll go to Dr. Garza after. But the question is, are there internship opportunities that the institution helps me with? Do I have to go and find them somewhere else?
So this is a great question. One of the most important things you'll do as a college student, figuring out your path to your next steps, is to have these extra and co-curricular activities. And especially in the sciences, we consider this completely critical to your undergraduate education. So the value of having your TLU faculty working with you is that we have pretty big networks of people, and we do assist you with finding those summer opportunities, whether it's a research experience for undergraduate students, as many science students do, or working at a company during the summer. We encourage our students to do this. And in fact, I don't want to say we're pushy about it, but we might be a little bit pushy about making sure they apply, because making applications to these places where we have contacts is the way you get in there. And so we definitely work with students on the application process, making personal statements, making goal statements and things like that that you need to write for those applications. So definitely that's something we strongly support and encourage and help you find for sure.
And to sort of dovetail off of that, in the business department, we have, again, two distinct paths for internships. And they're, for the Masters of Accountancy, they're really formalized because as part of the curriculum, we'd like to see all of our students ultimately go work in an internship, and then as they graduate, be offered the job. And so we have relationships with the Big Four accounting firms that come onto campus and interview our accountant students, Masters of Accountancy students. And ideally, most of them, if I remember correctly, last semester we had close to 95% placement rate for our accountancy students to work during the summer or even in a semester with the Big Four accounting firms. In addition to that, for majors in our program that are other than accounting, we work closely with our Executive Advisory Council and former alumni as well to place any of those students in internship positions. In fact, we encourage it. We know it's a good deal, and we offer 3 hours course credit in our curriculum for those internships. And so we try and make it integral to each of our students in our program.
Well, Alicia, can I just follow up real quick? I wanted to say, I know Dr. Garza was talking about people in the master's level internships, but I was really talking about undergraduate students. So students as early as the freshman summer after their first year would be eligible to start applying for these opportunities. In fact, I have a freshman student this summer who will go to Auburn University, who's a first-year student for the whole summer.
That's great. Thank you both. Dr. Hughes, I'm going to send this next question to you. A student asked, how many classes do students take each semester?
Sorry about that. That can vary a little bit, but the standard load and the load that we encourage is 5 courses in a semester. And I won't get into all the details with credit hours and how much does a lab add and how much does choir add and all that sort of stuff. But you need 4 courses to maintain full-time status, and you can take up to 6 without paying additional tuition. But we think 5 typically works best, and that's what most students take.
Great, thank you. So the last question that came in on the RSVP forms was, and you'll notice at the bottom that we've now requested additional questions in the chat feature. So if you have those questions, go ahead and send them there, and we'll get to them after this question. So this is one of my favorite questions, so I was so excited to see this, and I'm going to ask everyone to respond to this one. So we'll start with Dr. Garza. What should students do to be successful in a TLU class?
Well, what I have noticed that most of my successful students in my classes have really good time management skills. I can really tell the difference among students that have that capability. Interestingly enough, most of the students, when I start announcing dates of exams or assignments that are coming due, will all pull out their planners so that they can start writing their assignments and the due dates in their planners. And I find that common to a lot of the business students that are really successful. So, you know, in practical terms, I would say really good time management skills help out tremendously.
So I really like this question as well. I have a son who's a sophomore in college, and so this is the advice I would give to him. So I give it to all students. Connect with faculty. I think that's very important. Go to class, participate, and stay organized. I think those are kind of key for really being involved in your classes. And then also beyond just the class, get involved with groups on campus.
I would say just to realize that the professors are on your side, and we want you to succeed. And if you do what you're supposed to do, and you are in communication with us, and you take advantage of the opportunities we offer, you will do well. So go to those office hours. Whenever you can get extra help, get the extra help, and we're gonna do everything we can to make sure you succeed.
So there's not too much I can add to that except communicate, communicate, communicate with your faculty, with each other, talk to each other, find people that are in the same classes as you, that are going through the same experience as you. The most important thing about being in a college classroom that's different from high school is that you need to learn to trust us, because you, as Dr. Hughes just said, you really must know that we want you all to succeed. The more, the better. We're not out to keep anybody from their dreams. In fact, we go to great lengths to make sure that you get what you need. And sometimes that means you have to tell us what you need. And so communicating with your faculty, I think, is really the key to all things successful in college. And read the syllabus.
Those are wonderful. Thank you for sharing. So now we will get to the questions that are coming in through the chat feature, which they are phenomenal questions. So I will go ahead and read the question and direct it to an appropriate faculty member for their response. The first one actually was directed to you, Dr. Sansi. The student asked, what does the curriculum and workload look like for students studying applied physics?
So I don't want to mislead you. It's difficult and it's challenging. I would say that it's one of the most challenging degrees that any undergraduate anywhere might take on, but we do it pretty well here at TLU. One of the things that hasn't come up tonight is that about 40% of all the students at TLU are competitive athletes. And that's true even in physics. So that means that not only can you do well in applied physics with the course load, you can also do other things that you are still interested in doing as part of your four-year college experience. So that's pretty unusual, I think. And I have not seen it at other institutions where I've been. The applied physics degree is meant for those students who may not be interested in the traditional physics graduate school pathway. They might be interested in going into the workforce with their bachelor's degree, typically into entry-level engineering positions, or going to graduate school in engineering, and that's what most of our students do. They go and get master's degrees in engineering at name your engineering field and name your school, and they do very well. So yes, it's a lot of work, but we take into consideration your other interests and we get you where you need to be so that you're competitive out there.
Great, thank you, Dr. Sansi. The next question that came in, I think I can answer this one. So student asked, will classes be in person or remote in the fall of 2021? So I'll just elaborate on the point that Dr. Ferguson made in her introduction. Right now, we are looking at approximately 90% of our classes for fall 2021 being in person. So things are obviously still in measure as far as safety precautions. We're still monitoring daily. Our COVID leadership team monitors activity on campus, within the Seguin community, within the state. So that could change, but for now, students are currently preparing to register for their courses, current students, and right now the course schedule shows that 90% of them are face-to-face. So that's very, very positive. That definitely is the TLU experience that we want you to have, to be able to interact with people like these 4 panelists. So that was one that I wanted to answer. So next one that came in, Dr. Sansi, this may be one for you too, but any of the faculty can definitely answer this one, but we'll pitch it to you first. How difficult or what are the requirements for a research program?
So this is a great question. And in fact, we've just done some changes, or we found out some new things. I know that at least in physics, we're going to start to offer work study positions that are research related. So you can work in a research lab as part of your work study program for financial aid, which we think is awesome. And one of the cool things about coming to a place like TLU, especially, and I can speak mostly for the sciences, you can get involved in research with a faculty mentor very early, in fact, during your freshman year. So this is something that doesn't happen very often, I think, at bigger schools where freshmen are sort of delayed in that opportunity. So I think how difficult it is, I think if you're curious and you want to get involved, there's a spot for you to make that happen, for sure.
I know there are research opportunities in other areas. Do any of the other faculty want to address what they do? Maybe independent studies, I would maybe send in the same direction. Anything that you would want to add to that? Okay. Oh, Dr. Jones.
Yeah, I can add to it. So I have had some education majors who have completed independent studies with either me or one other professor. And what we have them do is a couple of different things. They have either picked a topic that they're highly interested in and they really do a deep dive into it. And then we have gone to a pedagogy conference in San Antonio where they actually present their research. The other area of research that we do in education is during student teaching. When students are out there in the classroom, they are also participating in an action research project. So they find a problem in the classroom, they do some research on it, and then they kind of come up with some results or ideas to maybe improve whatever the problem or issue is. And so that's how we approach it in education.
Thank you.
I can mention one more thing that's not in the sciences. Texas Lutheran always has an undergraduate representative that represents the school at the state capitol Undergraduate Research Day. And this year, this is selected as an outstanding research project on our campus by a faculty committee. And this year, that project was actually a theology project that was supervised by Dr. Norm Beck. And it was very well received at the conference, which of course this year was virtual, but that every other year conference is an opportunity for TLU to really shine as a place where undergraduates in all disciplines really do participate in close relationships with faculty to do work that goes beyond the classroom, which is research, creative activity, which includes dramatic media, film. All of those things are considered scholarship for our faculty members, and we do have students participate with us. So that's my hat as the undergraduate research scholarship and creative activity chair. So.
Thank you. That's great. So these next two questions, I don't think they were from the same person, but this is great. So students are starting to think about what courses to take in their first semester at TLU, how advising works. So one of the first questions that was asked was, when can we start talking to an advisor about what classes to take? And so I think I can answer this one just in general terms. So if you're interested in meeting virtually with a faculty member in the area of your interest, go ahead and reach out to the admissions team. And later this evening, you'll get our contact information in the chat feature. Reach out to us, reach out to your admissions rep. We can put you in touch virtually in a Zoom meeting with a faculty member, and you can start that conversation. But as far as what courses to take in your first semester, you'll receive information here in the next week about something called the new student registration form. So TLU is wonderful in the sense that we don't give you a schedule of classes for the fall semester and say, here you go, pick. We don't do that, and we do that on purpose. We want you to be set up to be successful in your first semester. We have a faculty advising committee composed of faculty in various different departments. I know the faculty that are on this panel can speak to that as well. But they sit down and they actually look at information that you submit through this form called the new student registration form, which will go live on Monday, April 19th. Don't worry about penciling that into your calendars right now. We'll remind you about it, and we'll give you a video on what to expect with that form. But you complete that, you list your interests, you list any courses that you've taken to earn college credit through dual credit or AP. You list things that you're interested in taking, things that you're interested in doing post-graduation or while you're at TLU. And that faculty committee will get together in the summer months and they prepare your schedule for you. So know that it's not set in stone. So if you have questions or if you have concerns, they're around all summer to help in the advising center. But just know that that new student registration form is that driver for your first semester schedule. And then the second question that came in related to advising is, would my advisor be a professor within my major? So Dr. Hughes, do you want to start and maybe talk a little bit about advising and how that works with your students?
Yes, absolutely. So the short answer to that question is yes. If you are a theology major, you'll have a theology professor like me as your advisor. If you're a biology major, you'll have a biology professor. When you come in your very first semester, you will be in a class we call the first year experience, or FREX. And that is a wonderful class to, it's an introduction to sort of college level thinking and to TLU in general. And you'll learn about all the different opportunities here, as well as be challenged intellectually. That first semester, your advisor will be whoever your professor is in FREX. However, part of that class then will be you sort of communicating what you think your major will be and then transferring to an advisor in that major. We call that the migration of the FREX students to their advisors in their major.
Great, thank you, Dr. Hughes. So there was a question that came in regarding athletics and specific sports. So I'll just share that I would, if you are interested in athletics, you're interested in a specific sport and what the season will look like in the next academic year, keep watching TLUbulldogs.com and then definitely communicate with our coaching staff. So those decisions are made as the COVID conditions are just observed, and they're made through the entire conference. So know that it's not just a TLU decision, but a conference decision amongst all the teams that play. So we can help you out additionally if you have more follow-ups to that. I think that was all the questions. Let me just check really quickly. Yeah, so we have one more question that I want to just ask, and this is a great one. So I want all the faculty to answer this one. So Dr. Jones, we'll start with you. What is your favorite thing about being at TLU?
It's a great question. I love the faculty. I like working with other people, and I really like how we all work together. I'm in a different building, say, than Dr. Sansi, but she and I actually wrote a grant together and work very closely together. And many people would say, you know, education major or education faculty and physics faculty, what do you have in common? We have lots in common. And so I think just the camaraderie and getting to know the students and the small kind of atmosphere that it creates.
Great. Dr. Garza?
I think what makes TLU special, in addition to what Dr. Jones said, is the fact that from a faculty perspective, the department, we're all a big team and we all pitch in together, and all for the purpose of helping the students, helping the students succeed, helping them through, even difficult times, whatever the case may be, providing guidance. And I think that it's really important, at least to me, to be a part of that larger community at TLU. We all have kind of a mission and a purpose to educate and to help the students. And, that's what gets us up in the morning. And coming to work at a place where I know that all the other faculty kind of think along those lines, it just makes me feel good, and it makes me feel like I'm making a difference here at TLU and in students' lives.
Dr. Sansi, your favorite thing about being at TLU?
So that's hard. I think the most important thing to me is that I was able to come in here kind of as a newcomer and quickly establish something that was meaningful to me and to the students. It's a place where if you have an idea, you can make it happen. And I think that because we're all so centered on making sure that our students get where they want to be, we do tend to do things cooperatively and collaboratively, and we're always looking for a new way that we can do something that benefits our students and their lives. So I think that's really important. And I think really for me, I was out of academia for a couple of years, and I really wanted to come back because I just love my students. And every May and every December, I sort of blot my tears and say, oh, but I was really close to this class. But I say it every year. So yeah, so I just, I think I love being around a bunch of faculty who love doing what they do as much as I love doing what I do. So.
And Dr. Hughes?
Yeah, I think I would just echo what everyone has said. TLU really is a close-knit community, and it's a community where people support one another. So faculty have a common goal, which is helping students succeed. And faculty support students. I think students support students. Faculty support each other. I like that I get to work with a lot of students from all over the campus. I don't just teach theology majors, but I teach intro to theology to students from lots and lots of different backgrounds. And I love being able to walk across the campus and know half of the students' names. And I love getting to know business majors and physics majors and education majors. And the last thing I would just say is generally people at TLU are pretty happy. I've been at other schools where sometimes things can get a little bitter and there's kind of a dark mood sometimes, but not that everything's easy at TLU, but I think people are happy to be here. And as I say, we support one another.
That's wonderful. So I have one more question come in, and just in the whole conversation that each of you were sharing about community and how everyone works together and likes each other and likes being at TLU. A student asked a question about being an athlete and the course load during season. And so I know that that's one that definitely impacts students helping students and faculty helping students. Does anybody want to take that question and just talk a little bit about balancing? Yeah, sure. Go ahead, Dr. Sansi.
I'm happy because I'm really proud of the fact that in the past 7 years, we have graduated a number of football players. This has never happened in my career until I came to TLU. We work very closely, and I think we have a very good relationship with the coaches, not just on the football team, but I have baseball. I have students in almost every sport. And we understand that when you're in season, we work with you. I light load, and what I mean by that is, so Dr. Hughes said, we like you to take 15 hours or 5 classes a semester. Sometimes in the sciences, that's tough because we have long labs. So we light load you in your season, and then we will heavy load you in the off season, when you're off season. So I think we're just this spirit of cooperation, and we really want you to succeed, makes it so that that's possible. And I think that if you go to other schools, and I'm not just saying this because Alicia didn't pay me anything to say any of this stuff. This is really true, that we really do work hard to let you do the things you love to do and put you in a place where if you're not going to be a professional athlete, you've got a great career or path ahead of you when you leave TLU. And I think that that's something that I'm really proud of as a person that in a place that doesn't, in other schools, usually graduate athletes, but we do here, and they do very well. So I think that's a really important point to make, that we get along with each other and we work hard to make it happen for the student.
That's great. Thank you so much. So we have received great questions tonight. We're now at the end of our session. I want to thank the panelists for being here with us today. I appreciate you sharing so much more about the TLU academic experience. And for those of us watching the panel tonight, thanks for joining us. I hope this was insightful for you. If you're looking to learn more about the admissions enrollment process, please know that the admissions office is excited to host visits for you virtually and in person on campus. You can register for a visit on our website at the link that will be provided in the chat feature. Stay well, and we hope to see you at TLU very soon. Thanks so much. Good night.